Hey, how's it going everyone? It is Online here, welcome back to the video course as always. First of all, hope you guys are all doing okay considering everything going on with the world, and honestly just hope all of you are just staying at home and are healthy. And yeah, with that being said, I do want to talk about the PS5 and Xbox Series X because we do have some information regarding, when we could possibly expect more news going forward. And yeah, before I go into all this, I just want to say that obviously with everything going on with COVID-19, everything that you hear and everything that can happen with, PS5 and Xbox Series X is up in the air. Nothing's really set in stone. Plans can change at any minute. Everyone's working at home. People work in different hours. Communication's not the best. Honestly, I guess if there's one word to describe everything going on, it's kind of chaotic, and everything just is not as easy as it once was. And yeah, with that caveat out of the way, let's go into all the details and information about when we could possibly expect more next generation news. So I guess I want to start off with this tweet from ZHugeX, Daniel admin on Twitter. Really good for analysts in terms of sales and everything going on in the industry. Definitely recommend following him. He said on April 19th, with E3 canceled, a lot of the planned reveals/announcements have been moved out of that single week. Some are now much earlier, others much later, some still during E3 week, of course. The first proper next generation console/game showcase is much earlier too. He follows up saying a caveat. This is the one time that I will actually add a caveat for the last sentence in this case, as we are living through an unprecedented situation, and this is the one time where external factors such as COVID-19 could actually change plans right at the last minute, but we'll see. So let's unwrap everything he just said there. Obviously, nothing's set in stone. He does have a really good track record with all the information that he puts out there. Some are much earlier, others much later, still during E3 week, of course. So, initially, obviously, in terms of much later, it's obvious that, with everything going on, developers and publishers don't really have a set time to, have to show a demo by. Usually around this time, a lot of developers are kind of cramming in an E3 demo to showcase for all of you in June. Now they don't really have to do that. Obviously, with E3 canceled, there's a lot more looser of a time frame, especially considering, some might want to have a spotlight. They don't want to necessarily go during that week. There's many different factors. Everything's not going to be during that week. I still expect a lot of them to have digital kind of events during that week. Like, I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to do their kind of direct still that week, or, whatever Microsoft's planning, because they still said they're planning on doing a digital event for E3. But everything regarding, announcements aren't going to all be tied to that 1 week still. He did say, I think this is the one that a lot of people are really excited about, considering me as well. The first proper next generation console/game showcase is much earlier too. Obviously, we can only really pick two between Sony and Microsoft. Whether I think this is Sony or Microsoft, that's tough to say. I do want to lean in towards Microsoft. Shinobi602 on Twitter, and just in terms of the Xbox threads on Reset Era, he did reply saying soon in terms of when someone asked when we could possibly expect with the Microsoft event, because a lot of people are really antsy for next generation news. So that, alongside the few rumors that we've been getting online that haven't really been too credible, so I don't really want to mention them too much in detail, but there have been some rumors that Microsoft is going to reveal their Lockhart, which is the lower end spec that's going to be like 4 teraflops, and have like some next generation features, but not all. It's going to be kind of like their entry point to next generation. That's going to be not necessarily, I guess, next generation, but still have like the SSD possibly in it. We still don't have the full details on that, but apparently they're going to be revealing that in May, possibly early May. That was a rumor. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past Microsoft. I honestly probably expect Microsoft to go first the next time we see, a full reveal. There's many factors to that, just because, they've kind of been on the ball with information. Honestly, Sony's been really good in terms of like fan reception, but to be honest, all their stuff has kind of been random. Not to say Microsoft hasn't been random either, but they've kind of feel like a little bit more confident in a way. Sony, they're also playing, they can play cards closer to chest just because of the natural situation they are in right now. In terms of this generation, they're the market leader. They naturally have that card, so they don't need to necessarily show everything they have. A lot of people are already anticipating PlayStation 5. They don't really need to do a lot right now in terms to prove why, you should buy a PS5. They can kind of respond to what Microsoft does in that way. Again, going back to the original point, next generation console/game focus much earlier. Obviously, that to me means a few weeks. I definitely don't see how this isn't May. I wouldn't put it past Microsoft to do something either early or mid-May, and that would be pretty exciting to finally see some gameplay and hopefully, see the boxes for the Lockhart. I mean, we already know the Xbox Series X. By the way, I say Project Lockhart. I think the official name is probably going to be Xbox Series S, just because they did trademark an S logo a little bit ago, and also that's kind of been the general consensus online. I know Video Game Chronicles have been pretty right about a few things lately, especially when it comes to some of the Nintendo side of things as well. They said that they also heard before COVID-19 that Sony was planning an event in May. Obviously, because of COVID-19, that won't be a physical event where press are flown out to for obvious reasons. But they could still hold a digital event or something similar to what Mark Cerny did when they couldn't do their talk GDC this past March. So yeah, I'm expecting hopefully news here in the next month or so. I think May is a good time frame to hopefully get some news. As we've been saying, COVID-19 is messing everything up. Bloomberg came out with an article last week talking about Sony and the PlayStation 5 in terms of pricing and what Sony's doing. In that article, it mentioned that the DualSense reveal, that reveal was actually rushed. Sony didn't really want to give the news like that as they did, but they kind of rushed it out there. Now, why they rushed it out there, I'm guessing it's to go against Microsoft or just lack of communication within themselves. I mean, they did put out that news like 1 hour before Inside Xbox, so it might have been like a safety kind of move to, do before Microsoft potentially reveals something at that Inside Xbox. So, weird times indeed. I just really hope we do get something soon here. I really want to know about these launch titles and some of the OS features and everything going on. Obviously, people like to compare Sony and Microsoft to what they did last generation. Last generation was completely different times, just both in terms of their positions in the market and also just what was kind of generally the rule of thumb back in the day. I mean, there's not really a rule of thumb, but, consoles always had a time frame where they'd be announced like way ahead of time. Like back in the day, it used to be like even a year and a half before the consoles actually came out that they were announced. And I guess you could say the same is kind of true with the PS5 and the fact that we got that wired information back in like March or April of last year. I think it was mid-April of 2019. So yeah. But that being said, you look at Apple, you look at all the major tech companies, look at Nintendo, what they did for the Switch. They announced it only a few months before the actual Switch came out. And then when they had their official reveal, that was like literally a month before the Switch. I'm not saying that's going to happen to Sony or Microsoft. I do believe by, June at least, we're going to see footage of next generation games, quite a few of them, and hopefully see the actual boxes and, feel like we have a full reveal. Yeah, we're just waiting on the information. I feel like we're really close, and it's pretty exciting. Some other news that has been kind of floating around. Video Game Chronicles also came out with an article talking about Ubisoft. Pretty much Eve from Ubisoft was talking about the coronavirus, how it's affecting their studios, how they're kind of working around it, and also talking about just kind of like their slew of games. Pretty much, they're doing fine at the moment. Obviously, they're not going to announce any delays with that, particular outlet in an interview. They'll do it officially online. But he said they're just kind of rolling with the punches. And he did, Video Game Chronicles did actually add at the end that they heard from their sources that Watch Dogs Legion, the game that was pushed back from this March, is actually going to be a next generation launch title, which I'm not really surprised there. Obviously, that would probably be one of the first, Ubisoft games to come out, considering it was supposed to be out by now. There are, still talks about the Assassin's Creed game, which is rumored to be announced soon. I mean, I say rumored. Assassin's Creed's always announced around the May, June timeframe, E3, all that. It's when the games come out, they're always announced in those months. That being said, it is a fall title. Whether COVID-19 changes that, possibly it gets delayed. You're looking at Call of Duty as well. That's already kind of been in a shitty situation considering everything going on with Treyarch. Now you add in the pandemic, everything's kind of up in the air. It's going to be a little bit weird. We'll see how this all turns out. Next generation news is, I feel like hype levels, I'm finally reaching that point to where I'm really excited. I feel like I wasn't really feeling it in the early months, but as we're gearing up towards, what it would have been E3 in May and June and stuff, obviously, we're still going to get that information out there. I'm starting to feel a little bit more hype now, and I'm just, looking forward to it all. Planning on doing a lot more videos here on the channel talking about everything. I do want to come out with a video talking about my predictions for launch titles of both Microsoft and Sony. Microsoft, we kind of have a little bit more information considering Halo Infinite is a thing that's been announced, but yeah. With that being said, make sure to leave all your comments and thoughts in the comments down below. Looking forward to replying and seeing all your predictions down there and just what you guys currently are thinking. As for myself, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, just finished it a few days ago, really enjoyed it. Want to do a review here on the channel. That's probably going to be the video that comes next, so if you're looking forward to that, make sure to keep an eye out for that. Probably going to use it, honestly, as gameplay for the background of this video, and yeah, I've been really enjoying it, and just, yeah, it makes me want to go back and finish the original, because I only got past Midgard in original, so yeah, again, between now, I mean, pretty much we're looking at a few months that are kind of dry in terms of game releases, and everything that's coming out is kind of getting pushed back because no one really wants to publish games like in terms of the big AAA releases, considering production's kind of in a shitty situation right now. So that's why you've seen The Last of Us 2 delayed, you know, obviously for the near future, and we don't even have a new release date for that because obviously it's been delayed indefinitely. So looking forward to making that review for all of you. And yeah, again, just hopefully you guys are all safe and just doing fine. Obviously, that's the most important news at the end of the day, is just your own health. But yeah, as I said, if this is the first video of mine you're seeing, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned to the channel for more information like this. I've been Online, or Brandon, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.